Yes, please. Yes, please.
Mr. Mojalefa, don't look for things.
Yes, brother.
Don't look for things which are not there, my brother.
No, the problem is you are always making sure that I look for things that are not there.
It's not my problem.
It's not my problem, but you are making it my problem now.
out of almost 30 people, you're the only one who didn't see the bears on gold.
No, and I'm not gonna lie and say I see it and I don't see it. You understand? Then that means I'm lying to myself.
Then that is not my problem. You can clearly see from a weekly chart. You can clearly see the rejection the past 2 weeks. Like 2 weeks ago, you see this green candle here prior to the drop. This green candle here.
Yes. Mm.
The moment you see that candle, you should be in a position to see that no, bulls were no longer in control there. You see, price pushed all the way up.
Yeah.
And then prior to weeks, when the market closed, I think it's the week of...
it's last week.
Yeah, the last week of, I think it's the 22nd.
Last week of the Feb.
Yeah, that was 22nd. That Friday 22, bears were already coming into the market, right?
Yeah.
Now, why would we say bears were coming into the market? Because of the rejection on that candle and also the level that it's rejecting from.
Yeah.
You see? The level that it's rejecting from. Look at this level here. That's a strong supply zone. Yeah. And when you see a candle like this forming from that zone, a candle like this bullish candle here, that's like an upside down pin bar. I don't know what they call it, or something like that.
Inverted hammer.
The difference between this candle here, the one we are talking about, and this guy, can you see the difference?
Yes, it's bigger than the wicks.
Yeah, the wicks. You see, this one, the bulls were in control. This candle here, these two candles, the bulls were in control. But here, and now taking note of the zone that we are coming from, you can clearly see that the bulls were no longer in control of that market. That's the first thing before we even jump to Fibonacci's and everything. That's the first thing you need to do. Read the market structure. Read what the price action is telling you.
You see, Ivan. When all of you are making noise, that is big. This is the problem that I have with you.
What problem, boss?
No, I'm gonna tell you now. When you ask questions, I think you must be specific at what you are asking me. You understand? No, I'm being very honest now. When you say to me, what is a kind of what you ask? You ask what is price telling me? There's a lot of things that a price could be telling me. You understand? I'm so far away from your level. So you must be.
I asked who's in control of the market there, bulls or bears? I asked the question.
And I said bulls. As wrong as I was, but I gave you an answer.
And I said,
you said both.
No. I said both after he planted the seed of doubt in my head.
Hey, George, shut up.
You understand, my brother?
No, I understand what you're saying, but remember the first thing that we talked about in order flow. You first determine your direction, where the price is going. And the only way you can do that is by reading your price action, what the candles are telling you. That's what price is, right?
Yeah, you are 100% correct, my brother. But you remember I also asked you the question, like now, if I'm looking at this chart now, when I look at the direction, do I look at the direction from September 2018 all the way to 3rd November, or I just look at the last week Like now, for instance, now we are on a weekly chart, which determines the direction. Just the last week, or I look at the general trend of the chart.
That's why I was saying, don't look for things which are not there. You see this last week, the one we just came out from, this bearish week,
Yes.
last one. If we conclude that it's a strong bearish trend, are we going to be wrong?
No, we are not wrong. We are 100%.
Right. From there, then why would we look for buys when we know that the last week was strong bearish? There's no need to look for buys. You get my point?
No, I get what you're saying.
So now, the September, the last year, and probably the 2016 is going to come into play now when you are talking of the zone, like the price action at a specific zone, at a specific support area, specific resistance area. That's when old data comes into play.
Okay, all right.
You get my picture?
I see where I'm getting wrong now.
Yeah. Because now
when I open the weekly, okay, I'm listening.
When you open the weekly, what? Yellow.
I'm saying now when I like for instance, you remember you said I must do yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I get you, Moja.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. Now from the past when I was determining the trend or from the higher time frame, I open the chart and then I see, oh, okay, from 19 August 2018 all the way to 2019, the gold chart was bullish.
Yes.
So this is the mistake I was doing.
No, it's not a mistake, Moja. The gold has been rising since I think November or something. Since November, gold has been on an uptrend, right? You understand that part, right? Can you hear me?
Yes.
People are breaking up.
Yes, I understand.
Since November, gold has been rising.
Yes, I can hear you.
Gold has been rising since November, but prior now to January and February,
100% I agree.
Look at the zone that it was approaching. You see, look at that zone that it was approaching. That in itself should tell you, okay, it has been rising since November, but now let's focus on the zone that it has approached. What has got that zone? So why is it so significant? Why is that zone so significant? You see, that's where sellers tend to come in at that 1350, 1340 zone. Sellers come into the market. Even if you go back in history, if you look at the first 2 months of every year, gold normally rallies, but come March, April, it falls. That's a homework for another time. If you go back on your chart, like January, February, normally gold rises, but March, April, gold falls. Like if you go back in history. So it's like a confluence which will help you when you're making a decision now to say, okay, I'm going to trade gold. What things do I need to look for, right? So now, having determined that we are coming off a strong support, a strong supply zone, right? Having determined that, so ideal trades will be going to the downside, short trades. You see? That would be the ideal trades. Yes, there's good opportunities to go long there, but there are risks. You understand, guys? There's a risk in going long.
Yeah.
Look on Telimtar.
Now we are still on the weekly. I want Moja to understand this part so that we can carry on to the daily. I want him to understand exactly why should we say this coming week is a bearish week. If we were still expecting strong buyers, like for bulls to be in control of this market, this previous week, which just ended, the candle should have been something like this. You see that guy nestled between the two bulls?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I see what you mean.
You see now?
100%.
Yeah. So now, for instance, this previous week we just closed, we've got a strong bearish momentum. And where has it approached? A strong area also of supply, where market tends to like meander around. It's a pivot point in the market. Why? Because of these guys here. You see here?
Yes.
Right. So now, the levels that we determined is the 1302. 1302, why did we determine 1302? That's where price broke. You see, the previous week, it broke this candle, this candle, this candle, this candle. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 weeks. All the gains for February, they were wiped out last week.
In just one candle.
In just one candle. You see now, that in itself should be an indication that no, bulls are no longer in control here. Buyers are not in control of this market. You see? It's the bears that are in control of the market. So now, last week, let me zoom in a bit. I want to zoom in on this week. Right. Last week broke how many weeks? The whole of February was broken with one candle. Now, you take note now of the lows that were broken. We've got this low and that low, and the close, the opening price of, I think it's the first week of February, if I'm not mistaken. All those lows, they were broken. You see? Now, where do those lows come in? They come in at 1302. That's why I've highlighted the green candle. That's our 1302 zone, right?
Okay.
Yes.
Now, 1302 is even more supported. Look at these lows here. Look at these highs, these wicks here, why price rejected. You see, now you are looking at characteristics like confluency stuff that will help you in your analysis. You see, look at these highs. That's 1302. See these highs, this low. So 1302 now becomes a crucial price point in your analysis. So now we have highlighted 1302. We are still on a weekly. We have highlighted 1302. Now we look at the closing price of last week. Closing price of last week was, let me just check quickly. When did this? It closed at 1293.54. That was the close of last week. 1293.54. Now we put our line there to determine the closing price of last week. The moment you do that, this should be flashing lights to you. You see this? This becomes flashing lights. Hello, look at me here. That's where last week closed. That should be flashing lights to you. You see? Look at this. Look at me, flashing lights. You see, these are amber lights flashing at you to say, look at me. Look at where the line that you have placed. You see? It's signs.
Yeah, no, I see.
Yeah, it's signs that you should not ignore. You see these highs here? They tested that closing price of this last Friday. Now that you have highlighted those two areas, it came in at 1294. I just rounded it to an institutional number, which is 1294. See, now we've got the red and the green line. The green line, which was broken, it was previous support, which has turned into resistance.
Resistance, yeah.
You see this green line? Here it was support, here it was support, here it was support. These lows here, you see the past 4 weeks, lows, it was support, but it was broken. When support gets broken, it becomes resistance, right? We agree on that, right?
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna go down onto a daily chart. Now we are on a daily chart. Now look at the significance of Friday's price action. This. look at these lows here. You see these lows that we were talking about. Now look at the significance of that. Let me zoom in nicely. So now, with Friday's price action, this bearish move on Friday, it's now clear. You can even see clearly on the chart that these lows were broken by just one candle. It broke and tested these highs.
Go on weekly chart.
You see, it tested those highs. So why does the closing price of Friday become significant? Because that's a pivot area. Look at this noise here that was happening here in January. That's where Friday closed at. Why didn't Friday kept on going down all the way to 12.8? Because there's buy. You see, there's liquidity for buyers who are looking to hold the market at 12.90.
It's a strong point.
You see, they're looking to hold at 12.94 to say no, you can't break this zone here. So there's more orders that are keep coming in for buys. You see, that's why price stopped there. Otherwise, it would have kept on going all the way to 12.82. So now, having determined that now, I'm gonna dive down to H4. Right, let me zoom out a bit. Right. Now we need to look at where we can get into the market. You notice, Moja, I haven't put any fibs. I'm just reading the price. I haven't put any fibs.
Yes, yes, I'm checking, my brother.
Yeah. Now we are on H4, right? You look at H4, Friday price close. There was a rejection. Price rejected back to the 12.94 area, right? Mm-hmm. Now, if we are looking to trade now, to say we are going to trade gold in the coming week, what should we consider as a good entry point? This drop, which happened the past week, price is going to have to breathe. There's going to be some time where there's going to be a retracement, but to what area? These lows here. Remember the support that turned into resistance. You see? Support that turned into resistance. That will be the best area to go short. Yes, you can buy right now, but with the way fundamentals now we're going to bring in fundamentals, the ones you were sending on the chart there. With the way fundamentals have been going on this weekend, it wouldn't surprise me that gold is going to open probably with a gap to the upside. You see, this retracement here, it has to happen. We have to go back to 1302 to collect liquidity here. There's liquidity up there. Eventually, will tumble down. But now, with the way fundamentals are looking, remember Trump yesterday, he said, a strong dollar is not good for America. If anyone follows Trump on Twitter, he tweeted that a strong dollar is not good for America in terms of economic stuff. You see now, you need to bring that in the picture now.
Yeah, but again, Ivan, when Trump says something like that,
yeah,
that is something that's going to what is this word? Going to affect the dollar negative. Confirm.
Yes, dollar will fall, but it's not.
And when dollar falls, gold will rise.
Right. Now, you as a trader, are you really gonna bet on Trump's sentiments, on what he has said? Everyone is gonna be
only
negative.
No. Structure.
You see? Yes, he might say that, but there's nothing wrong with the dollar being strong for the American economy. Yes, in a short term, it can be wrong, right? In a short term, for their business-wise, internationally, cross-border, it can be to a negative side. But the way that he said it, it's like a short-term thing. So now we'll be looking for, I haven't checked the index. Where's my dollar index now. Ow. So there is bound to be a retracement on gold. Yes, the buys that you are talking about in gold, they're there, but they're quite risky. Buying gold right now is quite risky. Where's my dollar index now? Bum, 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 bum.
SDX.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Oh, there we go.
Hey.
Yep, got it. Let me just clear this. Let me go to daily chat. Right, you can clearly see that the dollar is strong, right? It's pushing up. You see, dollar is pushing up from here. So I still expect dollar to test these highs. You see?
Yes.
Dollar is pushing up, which now supports gold going down.
Down.
Going down.
You get it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Yeah. So it's a bit of a risky. Yes, short term wise, long trades are ideal on gold, but for a longer time frame, gold is gonna fall. Gold is gonna fall. 1286. This zone here is easily achievable on gold. You see these lows here? They're easily achievable. I don't know what price is this lows here. So 12.7.
You still remember?
You say what, Moja?
Yeah, but you still remember I asked you a question. I asked, are you trying to say now we're going to have a break of market structure? And you didn't answer.
Did you send it on WhatsApp?
Yes, on WhatsApp.
I might have skipped that. I might have skipped miss. I don't think I saw that question.
So when you didn't answer to that, I got even more confused now.
No, you don't need to get confused. And when you ask a question, there's nothing wrong in asking question, but you must also understand I'm talking with a whole lot of, but you see why I emphasize that people must send on the group, because there's more of you who send me personally, so it's a lot. You see, comes overweight. Already the market structure has changed. You see, market structure has changed on gold. You see, for buyers to take back price to 1335, ish, I don't know what's going to happen for buyers to be to take it back up there at the moment. You see, so that means for every retracement to the upside, it's a very good area to short. You see, it's a very good area to short. You see, like now. Let me put the fibs on this weekly chart. Last week's open, last week's close. I'm gonna go onto a H4. Right, that's last week's open. Where's last week's high? Last week's high. I need last week's low. There's last week's low. Yeah, of course. Now this the OTE. You see where OTE is? That's 1320. You see, which is quite.
Who's laughing like Zuma now?
But now, before you get to OTE, you have to put into perspective these laws here, the laws of February. They can also be a better place to go short. You see? So already market structure on a weekly chart, market structure has changed. You see? The market structure has changed. We are looking more to the downside now than we were looking to the upside on a weekly chart. We are looking more to the downside.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's much about it for gold. Yeah, you can buy, but make sure you're monitoring that trade, because anytime market can crash, you see, it can fall again. Because those bears that came in last week, I don't see them getting erased instantly. I don't see those gains like to the downside getting erased instantly. So short trades are ideal for gold. 1302 is a good entry point. You see, if you're more conservative, you check the 70% retracement of last week's drop, last week's high to last week's low. You check the OTE of that swing. See, that would be also a conservative entry, but it's a bit far now. You see, you might lose money waiting for that 70.5 retracement. So the lows of February and last week of January becomes critical and also important for short trades. You see, you can take the market to the downside from 1302. For me, if it gets to 1302 when market opens, if it doesn't, then it doesn't. I leave it. I'm not going to trade it. But if it price retraces back to 1302, I'll open short trades. You see?
And you don't tell us when you open the short trades.
Oh.
You tell us when you are 3/4 in being a millionaire. Then you...
I can only take.
You say the signs were there.
I can only take a donkey to the river. I can't tell you to drink. You see?
You say no, the signs were there. I'm like, this guy.
I can only take the donkey to the river, but to drink the water now, I can't force it to drink. So you can clearly look at the weekly chart, right? Look at this. You see the last week bearish move that broke 1302. Look at where's there?
Yes, I see.
Example. You see here. I think that's October 2017. Then look at here. That's May 2018. There's bound to be a retracement. Can you see? There's always a retracement. You see, a good example is of what I'm expecting next week on gold. A good example is this. Next week on gold. You see here. Let me zoom in. Clear. Let me zoom in. Right. You see here, this part. Can you see that part that I've highlighted?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. This candle broke the 1302, but look what happened the coming week. This bearish candle here, it opened here, and then it pushed all the way up. You see? It pushed all the way up, but prior to week's close, market tumbled and it closed below. That's what I'm expecting on gold this coming week. You see?
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
I see what you
I'm
mean.
expecting. Because even if I put fibs here, you see where the right. You see? Look where the OTE is. Here.
Wait. Where?
Huh? I'm just giving an example, Moja. Don't get confused now. This is just an example from past price action of what I'm expecting the coming week to be.
Yeah, no, but you know what I was asking? What is your point of reference in putting those fibs?
Sorry?
Your point of reference in putting those fibs. I can see the open.
Yeah.
But why did you stop there? Oh, no, I see it. No, sorry. So I see it. No, I see it, my brother. Carry on.
You see it, yeah?
Yeah.
Right. You see, it's different than, say, if I'm going to place fibs on, where is that candle, man? Where is it? Let me see if there's a good one. I don't see a good example. Yeah, you see, like this guy. You see that guy? The one I've highlighted.
Yeah, see that side. Yeah.
I wouldn't have any signal to say, are we going to go long? Are we going to go short prior to this guy? Because he's in no man's land. There's no supply there. There's no demand there. There's no support. There's no risk. You see, he's in a no man's land zone. So for a guy like that, I wouldn't even look at it. You see, obviously there was a strong bullish to the upside, which is now supported by these three white soldiers, whatever they are. You see, but that would be a risk. You see, but now coming from a supply zone, which is a strong supply zone, this guy here. You see, then this is possible. You see, that's clearly possible. Yeah. So I'm really expecting gold in the coming week. Yes, it's gonna push up, but with the fundamentals now, it might still tumble down. But now with those stories from Trump, I'm not really sure. But for now, short trades are ideal. But from where 1302. That's where you open your short trades. The risk of opening
1302.
1302. The risk of opening short trades now, market can open with a gap. This thing can jump because of the fundamentals that happened now on the weekend. So you need to monitor it. Yeah, if I open an entry, I'll advise you on the group to say, guys, I'm going long now. The same way I did with NZUSD, NZJPY. I'll tell you, open trade, sell this one or buy this one. Then you can also get in. Right, I think I'm out of time there now. I think I'm out of time.
Okay. Nice.
Okay, Ivan. It's so clear now.
It's clear, right?
Yeah.
I have
a special interest with the cable.
Hey, hi.
Kevin guy.
this guy and cable. I think
cable installation guy.
It's gonna cut in a moment, so you must just rejoin, guys. I don't even like cable, man, because of the Brexit. That's the problem. Yes, what are you saying about cable?
I was looking at last week's closing candle. You see that one?
Weekly or daily?
Weekly.
It's
showing a rejection there.
Yeah, it's a rejection, but
yes, we are in a.
There's more indecisive on this thing here. You see the candle size, the candle size and the wick size. There's like more indecisions there. So we clearly need.
Okay.
Let me highlight this. Let me do this. Let me clear up. Where are we? We are on a weekly. I'm just gonna put like a rough. I need this high. All right. Let me zoom in. Last week's close. Right. You see these points. If you look at those points, those highs there, look at this guy. Price was rallying. It reaches there, it comes down. It rallies, it reaches there, it comes down. Now it has rallied. But now, can you see the difference in the rallies? You see this?
Yeah.
Price was moving slower, going up. But now look at these two bullish candles. They're quite strong. Those are strong bullish candles.
Yeah.
In reference to where it closed, that's 132.100. A clear close of price above these highs. Then we can say we are in a bullish market. A clear close above this. You see this? Which we haven't got yet. A clear close above these guys. Then we can start to look for upside momentum. But at the moment, even going to the downside, with Brexit, guys, I'm not going to lie to you. British pound for me is also difficult.
Okay, I know it's clear.
Like determine where is it going to go.